Hey there, today we're going to be talking about 3 things that you can say when you're introducing yourself, because often English students study a lot of English, but when it comes time to really speak with people, with native speakers, they get shy and freeze up. So I want to help you with that. I've been recording a series of videos for beginner English students to help you overcome this challenge, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's get started. Yesterday it was raining a lot, so much so that the stream, one of the rivers that I cross on my way to the school, had overflowed and a lot of the streets were covered in water. If it had kept raining, I probably would have needed a boat to get to work today, but fortunately the rain stopped and the skies cleared up, so I'm hoping the water went down and we'll make it safely to work. So when you're talking with someone and you want to introduce yourself, you can use a very simple structure. Remember, when you're in that critical moment, when you're going to speak with someone, just keep it simple. Don't try to embellish. Don't try to complicate things. So there are actually 3 things you can say using the very same sentence structure. So when you see someone, just spit it out. Go with something simple and then progress to more complicated things. So first of all, you're going to tell them who you are. The 3 big questions in someone's mind are: who are you? What do you do? Where are you from? Right? So generally, when you introduce yourself to someone, these are 3 of the main things that you talk about. So you can use the structure, the simple sentence structure, I am, right? I am, and then complete your sentence with who you are. Oh look, the river went down a lot. It's about halfway down, that's good. So this whole street here was flooded with water, probably at least a good foot and a half deep, but it's all gone down. I know a lot of people's houses get flooded out, ruins their furniture, so it's really bad. So continuing on, I am, and say who you are. I am, and tell them your profession. I am, and tell them where you're from. So if you're going to tell them who you are, you say your name, right? I am Dave. I am David. I am John. I am Mary. I am Susan, etc. Introduce yourself. Who you are. Answer the big question. Secondly, what you do, your profession, right? You don't usually ask people, what's your profession? You usually ask them, what do you do? What do you do, right? What do you do has to do with their profession. What are you doing has to do with the actions they're taking right at that moment. Got a big old SUV trying to get around me here, so let them go, and there's a slowpoke car in front of me, so get all this traffic out of the way so we can get a move on it. Great, things have cleared up. Always fun driving first thing in the morning. A lot of kooks out there, like my mama used to say. She'd be like, son, be careful when you go driving. There's a lot of kooks on the road. And say, don't worry, mama, I'm one more kook on the road, right out there with them. So what are you doing is the fact that something you're doing right now, right? Don't confuse that with how are you doing, which is another common mistake English students make, which is simply asking how you are. It's like saying, how are you? How are you doing? So a lot of times I'll ask a student, how are you doing? And they'll say, oh, I'm studying. So that's not the right answer, because when I'm asking how are you doing, it's how are you. When I'm asking what are you doing, it's the action you're taking. And when I ask what do you do, It has to do with your profession. All right, now we got some big old truck that's holding up traffic up ahead. Oh well, we'll get there when we get there, right? So, what do? You can say I am a, and then say your profession. I'm a doctor, I'm a nurse, I'm a teacher, I'm a wine taster, I don't know. What do you do? I'm the managing director of such and such a company. So, still using I am, just that you add an A. When we use our name in English, we say, my name is David. I am David. I don't say I am the David, right? Like in some languages, we use the article in front of a person's name, like in Portuguese. But in English, we don't do that. So we just say, I am David. But when you say your profession, I am a teacher. So just two things to make note of there. When to use the article a or the, and when not to. All right, continuing on. Third question, where are you from? You're gonna say, I am from, right? I am from the USA. I am from Brazil. I am from China. I am from wherever. There are other ways to say that, right? I am Brazilian. You can say I was born in Brazil. So you can talk about your origins, your nationality, you know, things like that. So obviously the simplest is I am from, and then complete the phrase with wherever you're from. So those are three very simple sentence structures. So remember, when you go to talk to people, especially native speakers, and you're afraid, you're shy, you're nervous, you don't want to make a mistake, you're embarrassed of what they might think of your English, just keep it simple. Use simple phrases that you've practiced a lot. Use filler phrases. We've talked about the use of filler phrases before. So use as many of those as you can, just because it'll give you that confidence to say things initially that you know how to say, that you feel comfortable saying, that you don't have to think about a whole lot, right? Just things that you've practiced so much, they're natural. And then you can say the more complicated things that you don't normally say, don't normally practice, other questions that they ask. But this is a way that you can build up and develop your confidence by just keeping it simple. So when you see someone, don't be afraid. Look them in the eye, walk up, stick out your hand and say, howdy, partner. And then introduce yourself. Tell them who you are, where you're from, what you do. Just using I am. Hey, I'm Dave. I'm a teacher. I'm from the USA. All right. So go ahead. Your exercise for the day, your homework, is to put in the comment below, introduce yourself using these structures. You can embellish them more, say other things if you want. But imagine you're going to talk to a native speaker. Imagine you're going to introduce yourself to them. What kind of things could you say about yourself? Remember, the process of thinking in your head isn't a learning process, but a practice process. It's a way for you to use what you know. So when you think, you see something, you think about it, using words that you know, number one, you're practicing those language structures, so when you're actually in that situation, you already know what to say, and you practice it in your head. It's better than practicing out loud and talking to yourself. Like right now, I'm driving in the car, I'm talking out loud with nobody sitting beside me, and people probably think I'm kind of crazy, right? There goes that crazy guy, he's talking to himself again. But, you know, even if you don't want to talk out loud, walk around people listening to you, you can practice your English in your head. The second reason is because as you practice in your head, you will discover the things that you don't know how to say, right? You'll be like, oh, how do I say that? Because as you try to think a phrase and you can't think of the word, you don't know how to say it, and you actually, you're gonna find those blanks in your mind, and then you can actually go and learn those words. You're like, oh, that's a word I don't know how to say. So you go look it up in your dictionary or ask somebody and learn new words that you can use to express yourself even better. So thinking is an important process for practicing. Think the phrases in your head. When you find a word in your head that you don't know how to say, go learn it and then practice that again. So that's it. Y'all have a good day. Practice introducing yourself. Introduce yourself in the comments, and I will see you in upcoming videos. Have a great day. Bye-bye.